Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And good evening and welcome to the HFD Footy podcast. And how are we, guys?
Jacob?
We have Toby and Ree in the chat already, and just looking at my thing here. I think I'm just got to line up my. That's a bit better. There we go, a bit more centered. Welcome to the HFD Footy podcast. I am joined tonight by the Greek god himself from Adelaide, Jay Crom. How are you, my friend?
I love the Greek god analogy, but yeah, doing better, man. You know, team's in the mud, obviously. Season's over, but you know, I love my footy, and we'll keep on rolling.
Look, it's been a tough couple of weeks, and last weekend wasn't great, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, good to see you've jumped on, and we're doing the show tonight. So yeah, good to see you. And the man himself, the man who only sees blue. Welcome to the show, Johnny Carlton. How are you, buddy?
Good, mate. Good, mate. How are you?
Good. How's the week been? The Blues have had the bye and had a bit of a rest.
Mate, relaxation. I was on a holiday mode, mate. No
stress,
no anxiety, nothing, mate. Just relax and just watch other teams play, mate.
Refreshed. Yes.
Good.
So yeah, we've had an interesting round of footy, and a few games which have been I don't know, pretty sort of predictable, but sort of went the other way. But yeah, and then a few which were just quite outstanding. So yeah, we'll talk about those, and yeah, we'll have a look at the. Let's have a look at the first game. Hi everybody in the chat, and let us know whether you can hear us okay or everything's working good. So our first game that we had on Friday night was Brisbane versus St Kilda, and the final score to that game was a Brisbane emphatic win, really. 19-12 or 18-12 126 to 18-10 106. St Kilda actually put a score on the board, and for a very first time in a while. And yeah, just a really outstanding performance by Brisbane. I'll just bring up the graphic of the two Brisbane players who were quite outstanding. McCluggage with 26 disposals, 11 marks and 2 goals, and Joe Danaher has had a night out with 20 disposals, 12 marks and 5 goals. So there we go. J-Crom, what did you didn't see much footy over the weekend, but what did you make of the Brisbane win?
This is probably the one game I did watch. I was at work Friday night, so I was able to watch this one. But man, oh man, St Kilda, they scored over 100 points. So
I know, crazy.
Something's happened at the Saints. So yeah, they let the. Well, one thing I've got to say, the tag is back. Like, there's so many tagging going on now. Windhager just followed Neil around like a bad smell and, nullified his game. But, it wasn't to be. Brisbane still got up. But, look, Saints, every time Brisbane, kicked the feud, Saints looked like they got themselves back in it. They had a sneaky chance at the end there. But, yeah, Brisbane too strong at home. And, Brisbane are starting to build a bit of momentum to have their charge into the finals. But, yeah, season's over for Saints. But at least they're scoring a bit more and a bit more entertaining game from them.
They just look to be really starting to hit their straps at the right time. And if they can get on a run now, then they should be coming along nicely. They've just managed to stick they're on the position on the ladder where they're still in there. So we'll see how we go. Johnny Carlton, what'd you make of this one? Your mates will be very happy. You've got a soft spot for Brisbane, so how was the watch?
Yeah, look, very happy. As I said, always have a spot for Brisbane. So yeah, look, I thought Brisbane dominated the whole game. To be honest, they dropped off a bit, and St Kilda capitalised and nearly came to a goal scoring margin. So, but yeah, look, St Kilda. First time scoring over 100 points. It's about time they put it on the scoreboard. And, it was very exciting to see St Kilda. If they play that brand of football, they can win those type of games. But, yeah, look, Brisbane were too strong. Unfortunately, Brisbane have other stars than Lachie Neale. Windhager couldn't stop them all. So, obviously, if Neale shut down, then McCluggage and Dunkley step up. If Dunkley steps down, then obviously Neale steps up. Brisbane have a great midfield. And yeah, Joey, mate, killed it. Had a dangerous game, Joey Danaher. But look, I told you last week the Lions are going to come now, and I feel like this is the team that's going to start making the 8. So I said it again, and I said again, Brisbane are probably not going to lose a lot of games now in the next 10 rounds. So but very happy on Friday night. So, yeah, it was a good game to watch. And thank God it was a Friday night, not a Thursday night. Because, thank God Thursday night games are over. But good game to watch on a Friday night.
That's it, yeah. And welcome to the chat. Boston and Jamar have popped in. And, good to see you guys. And thanks for joining us in the chat. We're just talking about the first game. And then we move to Saturday to the Bulldogs and Freo. Now this was a bit of a shocker. I tipped Freo and got it completely wrong, as I usually get my tips wrong. It was the Bulldogs with another big margin win, 23-11, 149 to 12-10-82. So another team that doesn't score many points, but this time they put on 12 goals and 10 behinds. But yeah, Bulldogs just with this massive score, almost 150 points, and just bring up the graphic of Marcus Bontempelli, who was a standout, 30 disposals, 15 score involvements, and 3 goals. So he's had a afternoon out as well, an evening out as well. So yeah, Johnny Carlton, what did you make of the Bulldogs win?
Well, funny as you say, because last week on the podcast, you and Chris both tipped Freo, and I said to you that Bulldogs are going to win this week.
You did.
They're a funny team. Last week they played bad, but I knew this week they were going to pop up. That's how Bulldogs are. They're a funny team.
They really are.
Tip the Dogs. Well, I wasn't expecting to score 149 points. Look, Freo, very good team at keeping teams at scoring, but this game they just let it out. Bulldogs just put on a score that they couldn't reach. Yeah. But yeah, look, Freo at Marvel, they always have trouble there. As I said, it's becoming a lot realistic this year. Away teams can't win away from home. So, as I said, another example, Gold Coast can't win away from home. Freya's maybe only won like 2 away from home. So they need to start winning these games if they're going to be top 8 contenders. But, yeah, look, Doggies, too good for Freo, and, yeah, saw it coming. So
You did. Yeah. No, you did say that. J. Crom, what did you make of the Bulldogs' performance? Are they a true top 8 team?
Well, look, they're definitely showing some form that they could be a top 8 team. They've got a good percentage. And look, Fremantle just didn't respect Montempelli. You know, they let him loose. And, you know, you leave a player like that in the form he's in, he just destroyed Freo. But look, Bulldogs, they're one of those teams, you know what I mean? They can play great, but they can have their off game. I don't think they're flag worthy, but they could definitely make the finals this year and do some damage. But yeah, Fremantle, they just, I don't know. Bulldogs just ran over them, I guess. Bontempelli game of his life. A lot of players had good games for the Doggies. Libba's back. It looked like he had a great first half. He had about 20 possessions in the first half. But look, yeah, they're still missing some players, the Dogs, as well. So Freo, yeah, like Johnny Cullen says, it's getting to that, you know, those home teams are starting to build advantages. So, yeah, look, I would say the Doggies could make it this year. And Fremantle was a bit of a step backwards for them. So, yeah, good performance from the Dogs. And, yeah, big 4 points because those two teams are similar, fighting for those, you know, bottom 8 spots.
It's hard to pick Freo now, whether they're going to, you know, when they go back home again, they'll probably, you know, smash teams again. But it's hard to pick it, isn't it? So there we go. Chris C's in the chat. Go to Chris. We're off to a raging start. So he's at work, the poor guy. So yeah, hope you enjoy the show. Next game. There we go. Next game we'll have a look at is the one I did a watch along for, Richmond and the Hawks. So yeah, it was Richmond quite easily, really. I thought 14-13-97 to 8-13-49. The Hawks were quite dominant throughout the whole game, and we had James Sicily has had a day out, 33 disposals, 15 marks, and 881 metres gained. So quite a good effort by Sicily there. And the big one, they had the 300th game for Dusty. And the attendance record was 92,331. So yeah, it was a massive crowd, but Hawthorn put a bit of a damper on the celebrations for Richmond and Dusty, but yeah, the Hawks continue to march on, the mighty Fighting Hawks, and they're looking good. And what did you think of this one, Jake Rom?
Unfortunately, Richmond couldn't do it for Dusty's 300th. But look, the Hawks, man, they're flying. Ever since that, you know, that loss for Port Adelaide in the dying moments, they just haven't looked back from there. They've really, you know, won some good games. It's just like another team that's just putting their hat in the mix now, you know, for that last bottom 8 spot. It's like unbelievable. You know, you'd think Hawthorn were a bottom 4 side this year, but they've really, you know, started to put it on. Their young guns are starting to put it together. They're really quick. Yeah, look, Richmond, yeah, they're at that stage where, you know, they're definitely a bottom 4 side. Yeah, but Hawthorn, they've got some quick players, man, and, you know, they've got some good midfielders. Will Day's coming a great player in there. You got some just quick outside players they got running. Sicily's playing some good football as well. So, yeah, look, the Hawks, they've definitely surprised me this year. They've got a lot more wins than I expected them to have at this stage of the year. So, look, it's just a funny old year, you know what I mean? And look, if Hawthorn make the 8, I'll take my hat off to Sammy Mitchell and the Hawks, man, because, wow, what a turnaround from last year. So, yeah, great win from the Hawks. And on a Richmond perspective, yeah, disappointing for Dusty. There's rumours that it's his last game, I heard. I don't know how that works. But, yeah, so Richmond back to the drawing board and Hawks keep marching on.
Just a really well coached team. What'd you make of it, Johnny Carlton?
Well, I don't like Richmond, but I was very disappointed how they played. You have a superstar playing his 300th game.
Yep.
You go up to Adelaide last week and you beat Adelaide in Adelaide, and then you come here and you don't even score more than 50 points. Outrageous. Look, as I said, the only highlight from Richmond's game, from that game for Richmond, was Dusty kicked the first goal. After that, it just was all over. Hawthorn just took the game on from there. And it was a challenge for Hawks. Hawthorn they were there in front of 90,000 Richmond members. So they were going up a crowd, and obviously they were coming for their superstar. But the Hawks, they took their pressure, they committed, they were playing the same game that they've been playing the last couple of weeks. And besides Sydney, they are the most consistent team in the comp. And they are now fighting for the 8. And Hawthorn fans, you've got to believe, because it's been a couple hell of years, but it's time to believe, Hawthorn fans. You guys have come up from the clenches, and you guys are now performing. It's unbelievable. It
really is.
As I said, very, very impressive win. The crowd was against him, but yeah, as I said, Hawthorn just were too good for Richmond, and Richmond was just very disappointing. So, look, to be honest, I don't know if I see Richmond winning another game. I thought that was going to be their third win, but after that performance, it's very hard to tip Richmond again. So
that's it. Yeah. Thanks, Boston. Thanks for coming in, and good to see you. We'll see you on the weekend on the watch along. So yeah, he's got to go, but Genwin's in the. Genwill is in the chat, so thank you for coming in. And to everybody who is watching along tonight, thank you very much for coming in and joining us. Our next game is, now it's going to be a bit of a sober one, this one, but I don't know how much J-Cron wants to talk about this one, but it was Sydney 16-13-109 to Adelaide 10-7-67. It was Adelaide played like a top 4 team in the first quarter and a bit, and we have to put our salute this guy who actually kicked 9 goals. Armity.
The Amati party.
It was unbelievable, and for Horse to drag him off with 2 minutes to go was outrageous. That he couldn't get his 10th, but yeah, he got benched with 2 or 3 minutes to go. But congratulations to Armity for 9 goals. What a massive effort. The other outstanding players for Sydney, had Brody Grundy, just killed it in the middle and all over the park. 31 disposals, 49 hitouts, and 9 clearances. And Goulden with 35 disposals, 10 clearances, and 768 metres. So that second half was just a massacre, really. Sydney, I don't know what the coach said to the Sydney team at halftime, but they have just come out in the second half and just gone bang. So Johnny Carlton, what did you make of the Sydney juggernaut and how Adelaide went?
Are you sure you don't want to give it to the Adelaide Crow supporter first?
No. I'll leave J-Cron for the last word on this one. So,
wow, how I got a call and my mate was telling me, "Hey, look, you're late." I'm like, "I'm late to what?" The Amati party.
The-
like, what do you mean the Amati party? Mate, Joel Amati, take a bow, son. Mate, the Amati party was hanging on Saturday night in Adelaide. Adelaide just couldn't stop him. So, as I said, look, Adelaide tried their best. Rankin came back, had a goal. They tried everything, but to be honest, Sydney was barely even trying. Sydney was like, all right, we've had enough of this. It's time to put on the Jets. And Amati started to swing in, Heaney, Goulden, and Brodie Grundy. Mate, Brodie Grundy demolished Adelaide's midfield. Just demolished them.
Yeah.
Look, next year for Adelaide, unfortunately, season's over already. How they beat Carlton early in the year, I'm still fucking mind blown. But anyways, Sydney too strong for Adelaide. So, and everyone said Adelaide might have a chance to beat Sydney. So some people were ridiculous this week. Adelaide was never beating Sydney, but as I said, the Amati party rolled through Adelaide Oval, and it took home the 4 points, and Amati took home a bag. So, fortunately, Adelaide didn't get the lollies bag at the party. So,
there we go. Yeah. J-Crom, the Crows played. The Crows played almost like a top four side in that they came out like a team who wanted to play and wanted to win, and they played really well. And then they just seem to I don't know whether it's give up or they just lose their will to play, or I don't know what happened. What do you make of it as a Crow supporter?
Well, fortunately, I didn't watch this game because I was at a party and had a few too many bevos. But I was definitely keeping up on the score on my phone, and I was quite surprised. I remember looking at my phone at during the third quarter, actually, I reckon, and we were like 15 or 16 points up. I'm like, wow, we're actually winning in the third quarter against Sydney. Do we have a chance here? And then literally, I reckon I looked back at my phone probably 10 minutes later, and we're losing by 20 points out of nowhere. So obviously, Sydney just changed gears, in the last quarter and a bit, whatever. But it just looks like Adelaide couldn't keep up at all.
Yep.
But it is what it is, man. Look, it's just one of those years. Nothing's gone right for us this year. We've had it's a bit of luck, bit of injury, it's a bit of everything, man. Bit of poor stuff, bit of So it's just all combined. It's just obviously I thought the season was over from last week anyway, but this is just another nail in the coffin. But look, obviously I'm just disappointed. You just got to move on. Everyone's saying Nick's out and stuff like that. Look, I'm in the boat where I want to sort of give him one more year. I don't think it's all of his fault. I think there's a lot of factors involved in what's happened to us this season. So look, Sydney, they're obviously on another level, the top of the ladder. I think they're a few games clear from the second best team.
Yep.
So we'll never win in this game. I mean, look, I'm glad that we're competitive for over 2.5 quarters. But look, for me now, I hope Nick's just experiments a little bit, plays some more kids, moves them around, see what works better. So I'm glad Billy Dowling's into the team now. I'm not sure about the ruck, changing the ruck to Strack. He's not a young ruckman. He's 27, so, I mean, I can't see why he'd waste time. But anyway, it is what it is. There's always next season, and, we're just simple words. Crows haven't been good enough. And, as a Crow supporter, it's been a long time between drinks for finals. We've got to keep on waiting.
Yep.
And, just enjoy the little things, I guess.
That's it. Yep. Well, we'll just you got the bye now, so you get the week off,
no
and
pain this
hopefully
week.
they can regather and try and finish the season off respectfully. Have a respectable end of the season.
I kind of hope that we stay in the bottom four for draft picks, but now I heard we're getting screwed for draft picks, but that's another story. So
yeah.
Anyway.
All right, next game is the probably the weirdest game that we've seen in a long time. And let's bring this up. 18-11, 119 to, is it 6-18? 16-4 to 18-4, 118. Collingwood over the Kangaroos. And the Kangaroos had a over 50-point lead and blew it. And Collingwood came back. So before we go to anybody, I'll just bring up a couple of highlights. Wardlord, 12 disposals, 5 score involvements and 1 goal for the Kangaroos, and Dacos and Bobby Hill. So Nick Dacos has had a day out, 29 disposals, 10 score involvements and 2 goals, and almost a mark of the year at contender, I would say. Bobby Hill with 5 unanswered goals, and just had an absolute blinder of an afternoon. J-Crom, I don't know whether you've seen this one or you're watching the scores or anything, but we started the watch along a little bit earlier. We jumped on for the last 10 minutes before the Port game and watched the last 10 minutes of the game, and because the last quarter was looking very, very interesting with the Kangaroos still in front, but Collingwood managed to win it by a point. So what did you make of it?
Yeah, I actually watched the second half of this game. I was went to a barbecue and me and a few of the boys watched the second half. And first of all, I reckon North got ripped off. I think that was a 50-metre penalty, no matter how you look at it. That's just my opinion. And not just that, it was a dodgy free kick call that should have been theirs as well. But I think North didn't do themselves any favours as well. I think they had a good matchup. Was it someone... They changed the matchup on Nick Dacos. Will Phillips or something was on him, and then anyway, but I think they substituted him, and then Nick Dacos just went off. But, look, North Melbourne, they were impressive. I was listening on the radio the first half, and, I think they've just taken the next step, haven't they, North? I think they're not the easy beats as people think now. So, look, they're exciting. Youngsters are coming good. Obviously, Collingwood had, a few outs. They're not a full-strength Collingwood side. But, look, I think North threw this one away. They should have won this game, to be fair. The umpires didn't do them any justice as well. Some bad calls. And I really think Collingwood got away with this one here. They're counting themselves lucky they won this game. So I think everyone except for Collingwood fans have gone for North Melbourne in this one. But, it was a good match and probably match it around. So, Collingwood get the 4 points, unfortunately, and North are there but not there. So, so good game, but, it didn't go their way in the end.
That's it. So, confidence is a marvelous thing, and umpires helping games be predicted. So, what do you make of the whole game and what happened, Johnny Carlton?
Well, last week I said this was my bold call, right?
We did, yeah.
And you and Chris were like, what? North Melbourne to beat Collingwood? Half time, everyone was looking at Johnny Carlton. Everyone had their mouth shut, mate.
You're a freaking genius, mate. What is going on here?
I reckon Chris was glad Collingwood won because of that bold call.
I know. Could have had a beer, man. I was spewing.
That's it.
But look, I said last week, North Melbourne was going to be Collingwood, and they nearly did, man. They nearly did. But of course, Dacos not holding the ball. Of course, when it's him, he never gets paid holding the ball. That 50-metre penalty, it's a 50-metre penalty all day long.
Yeah.
It's like...
With one player, let alone 2 players rushing him.
As I said, The thing is, Will Phillips was on Nick Dacos for three quarters. Nick Dacos was on 14 disposals at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
Will Phillips got subbed off because of fatigue. How do you let Nick Dacos get 15 disposals and a goal in the last quarter? How? You shut down that player. He's that good. You just shut him down. Look, this is all for North to blame. How you were 54 points up. How do you lose? How do you lose that? How? But as I said, mate, North Melbourne looked really, really good. But Collingwood did the unthinkable and they came back and won by a point. And Bobby Hill, mark of the year. Bobby Hill, round of applause, mate. He was phenomenal.
He was.
And yeah, unfortunately, I wanted North Melbourne to win, especially because I don't like Braden Maynard. I can't stand that bloke. I hope they ruined his celebration, but unfortunately they didn't. But yeah, it's that close, mate. I was that close to the biggest bowl call of the year. I was that close.
You were. And I watched the coach in an interview during the week, and he basically said he went in at 3/4 time and basically ripped Collingwood, all the Collingwood boys, a new one, basically going, pull your finger out, do it for Braden Maynard, and somehow they did it. So it was a match and a half. I got a mate at work who's a North supporter. She was beside herself. So it's just unbelievable. So they managed to keep on going, and they're beating bottom sides, but they've got the potential. Like, they've got a lot of outs as well, so they get a lot of those players back, and they manage to just be hanging around that bottom part of the ladder there, and far out. Who knows what could happen? So there we go, and we will look at the final game now. Luckily, Chris C is not on the call tonight and not on the podcast tonight, because he would be losing his mind. I did a watch along for this one on Sunday afternoon after the Kangas and Collingwood game, and I haven't been angry during a watch along for a while, but just watching the way Port played, it was just terrible. And I can just imagine, like, the Port fans this week have just been losing it, back going after the coach again and everything. But it was 9-16-73 to 8-15-51. Neither team could to GWS, and neither team could kick straight. It was a behind fest pretty much all the way through the game. It was a really scrappy game, and it was terrible to watch as well. 10 likes, thank you, Ree, and thank you to everybody who is watching along and in the chat. I'm glad you've joined us tonight. I don't know what's going on with Port. If they continue to play like this week in, week out, they'll be down around 10, 11, 12. They'll be out of the 8. So GWS didn't play that well either. They couldn't kick straight. So yeah. But the only thing that was said after the game was the coach basically said this.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Sometimes maybe shit. So yeah. I didn't enjoy doing it was good that everybody came in to the watch along. That was good. But the game itself was a hard watch. But yeah. Johnny Carlton, what did you make of the GWS and Port game?
Where's my boy Chris C? Not here tonight.
He's in the chat somewhere.
Chris C, I got a present for you, mate.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
Oh, no. That's something Jay Promer do.
I said last week, I was like, you never, ever follow Essendon when they're versing Carlton, and I said I was an Orange Tsunami person. I put on my high vis.
You did.
I was a Giants fan, and they did me well, Giants. Now, a couple of weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of a flashback. It was me, King, and Chris C on a footy podcast, and the words was, if Port Adelaide beat this team, they're going to win the grand final. And he showed a graph, and it said Port Adelaide was in the grand final, in the top 2. Now, I've just heard the big man Chris C say that season's over. It's a funny game, Chris C. You said your team's going to be in the grand final, and now you're saying your season's over. Well, I actually think your season's over too. I think Brisbane are coming for your spot, and I think they will take that spot off you. I think Port Adelaide's season's done. And another game where Port Adelaide can't kick straight. It's getting ridiculous every single week. And told you the tsunami was coming, and Port Adelaide were not ready for that tsunami. And it's ridiculous. And I know my boy Frankie Evans is in there, and I love you, Frankie. But Port Adelaide were just terrible. And what a terrible game to watch. King, I don't know how you did that watch along.
It was a tough one. It was really hard.
It was, it was boring. I turned it off at halftime. I couldn't watch it anymore. I turned on a movie. I couldn't watch it anymore. It was too boring. But yeah, at the end of the day, there's a big, big sound, and it's coming from the giant tsunami. So,
geez, there we go. J. Crom, your time for revenge, my friend.
Nah, look, I'm in no position to laugh or, whatever, look, but I do agree. I think Port are looking like that team in the 8th that are in the top 8 at the moment who are going to slip out. Look, Rosie, obviously he's been injury hampered this year, but he's not, playing his best, and you can see what happens when you tag Butters. And, I don't know, like I think Port are average in a lot of areas and like really good in some areas. Like it's just not a well spread team. But yeah, look, it's not looking good for Port. They got Brisbane this week, and I think they're going to struggle against them, like Johnny Carlton said. They do have a tough road home. And there's just a lot of teams that are looking better than Port right now. So, look, unfortunately for Chris, it doesn't look good for him at the moment for September.
Yep.
But, yeah, look, GWS, they've been in really bad form as well. They've been looking shocking, and they managed to beat Port. So,
yep.
Yeah, it's not looking good right now for Port Adelaide, which would be a huge disappointment. And, Ken Hinkley... Out of Ken Hinkley and Nix, I don't think Hinkley could survive without getting finals this year. Let's put it that way. I think Nix can get away with one more season, but I don't think Hinkley can. So I'm not sure how Chris thinks about that. But, look, it is what it is. Port didn't look... Yeah, I don't think they're going to make the 8. So, good on GWS.
Their backline struggled. Radigalia had trouble keeping up down the back. He was just chasing all the time. He couldn't get in front of the players. They didn't take any tools into the game. They rested Finlayson. They tried at something different, and Aaliyah, Chris is saying Aaliyah can't run either. So, when you've got a...
And where does Charlie Dixon fit into this game? Like, apparently he's not even the best 11, 22 at the moment, and I think he got a 3-match ban.
He got 3 weeks for a hit in the
SNFL.
Yeah.
So they got a problem there with Big Charlie now. So
yep.
A lot of things going wrong. I think they got away with Butters this week. I don't think it was a soft suspension call anyway for Butters. So I did see the footage. There was nothing in it. So I don't think he deserved the week anyway. So
yep.
But yeah, it's just problem after problem at the moment.
It is, yeah. And really disappointing for the Port Adelaide supporters. Let's have a look at the ladder. that's the games. We'll bring the ladder up and take a look and see where everybody is. So it is Sydney miles ahead of everybody else. The Mighty Blues are sitting in second spot. Collingwood is in third. Essendon in fourth. GWS in fifth. Geelong Cats in sixth. Port Adelaide still in the seventh. And Fremantle in eighth position. Then the bottom half of the table, Western Bulldogs in ninth. Gold Coast 10. Melbourne 11. Hawthorn 12. Brisbane Lions 13. I'd sort of put a line under that and say that St Kilda, Adelaide, West Coast, Richmond and North are pretty much haven't got enough points to have a chance. So I think Brisbane with 26 are just hanging in there. But what do you make of that? What do you make of that top 8 and the bottom, and who is dropping out and who's coming in, Johnny Carlton?
Look, I said it on Sunday night when I did my review. We're only down to 13 teams now. It's from St Kilda down. It's all over.
Yep.
Kiss the season goodbye. We'll see you next year. Look, it's very tricky. As I said, Port Adelaide is 7th. They could be 11th by the end of the rounds. That's how bad it could be for Port Adelaide fans. All right? It is not easy. Geelong are 8th right now. Or 6th, I think. They're 6th. They could be 10th by the end of the round. It is a very close fixture. But I see Brisbane and Hawthorn jumping in that top 8 spot for Port Adelaide and Geelong.
Mm-hmm.
That's my 2 changes. And I might see the Dogs go on top of Freo. So that could be another change as well. But yeah, as I said, the Blues sitting second. And I can't believe it, but I don't think Essendon's going to drop out of the 8. I need better teams to be playing better than Essendon. But the away teams just can't win away from home, and if they can't win away from home, how are they going to go in the 8? Like a Fremantle or a Gold Coast, it's just
And do you write Melbourne off now with
Petrarca gone?
Petrarca
I think
gone?
Melbourne.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks. They might win this week, Melbourne, without Petrarca, but I don't see them when they go up against a top 4 team. It's going to be very hard.
Yep. Jake Rom, what do you make of the 8, and who do you see falling out and coming in?
I think besides the top 2 teams, I think any of them could, possibly just get out. But I'm more looking at Port, and I'm more looking at, obviously Geelong, even GWS and Fremantle. They're looking shaky at times. But you've got teams just breathing down their neck with the Bulldogs, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, and Carlton. Yeah, I think Melbourne are done. They're up there, but I think they're cooked. They don't look good at all. So yeah, look, it's still 10. Is it 10 rounds to go? But look, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tighter than it ever has been. So, but there's a lot of shaky teams in the 8 at the moment who look like they're going to fall. So I think the 8 is definitely going to have some chops and changes by the end of the year.
Yep. Yeah, no, very interesting. And Sydney and Carlton are looking like the two strong teams that are solid up the top there, and they may not move.
I think they're the 2 teams that are guaranteed to play finals, Sydney and Carlton, and Collingwood. I could put Collingwood in that list too.
Yep. When they get players back and they're full strength again. Yep. Sure.
Guaranteed. I reckon the top 3 guaranteed to play finals this year. Guaranteed.
Yep. Well, there we go. There's the ladder, guys, and thanks. We've got 12 watching along, and everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming in tonight. Now let's go to this. The Johnny Carlton's Banana of the Week. Here we go. And also, don't forget to follow Johnny on TikTok as well. I've got his username in there, Johnny Carlton 98 on TikTok. So jump on board, and he does some awesome lives as well. So make sure you go over and follow him on TikTok. And who is your Banana of the Week this week?
First of all, you're a way better host than Chris C. He forgets all the time. So, King of the North, you should be our full-time host. Yes, our round 14 Banana of the Week goes to North Melbourne Football Club.
Ah, yep.
It's hard, but you can't go up in 54 points and lose that. It's just banana worthy. You guys choked. Yeah, decisions didn't go your way, but it's still choke worthy. And yeah, you guys deserve my banana this week, North Melbourne Football Club.
Good banana this week. That's for sure. Yeah. Yep. There we go. Far out. All right. Well, that's the round that was, and now we shall have a look at the teams coming up. So let's have a look, and we'll do our tips for this week. We've got let's see, how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, 5 games. 6 games. Yeah. All right. So our Friday night game, it's a beauty. So here we go. We'll bring the graphic up. It is Carlton versus Geelong, and Carlton are at home. Oh, where are they playing? MCG or?
Yeah, MCG.
Is that the MCG? Yep. So g'day, Paul. Thanks for coming in. Chunky Footy, thanks for coming in as well. And Ree, 12 likes, thank you so much, guys, and welcome along. Hope you're enjoying the show. We will go to J-Crom first. Who is your tip for this one? Is Geelong good enough, or will the Mighty Blues continue on their march to the finals?
Look, it's always hard trying to pick two teams both coming off a bye. So, look, I'm going on Carlton. They're in more of a form side at the moment. But, yeah, it's a hard one to pick, but I do think Carlton will win this.
Yeah, my tip's going to be the Blues. I'm not going to say any more than that, and I'm going to leave it up to the Blue Man himself, Johnny Carlton. Give us your roundup of this one.
Wow, footy's back this week, thank God. I'll be here. I'll be at the game Friday night. It's going to be freezing. I don't know if you guys live in Melbourne, but it's very cold in Melbourne right now.
No, it's 3 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. But I'll be there Friday night. Doesn't matter how cold it is. I'll still be there. I'll be supporting on the boys, and I think Carlton will win by 4 goals. So
4 goals, nice.
24 points.
Yep. No, I agree with that. Two or three goals for sure. So
yeah. Cincotta found merit in his back pocket last week. I think Cincotta will find either Tom Stewart or Max Holmes in his pocket this week. So
if De Koning has another big evening at the MCG, look out. This is big carnage.
His brother's down the other end, so he would love to play another good game, Tom De Koning. But
exactly.
He'd love to get revenge on this team. And yeah, it's they got the win on us last time, but it's time for payback. So
yep,
it's time for revenge.
Yep, all going for the Blues. Give us your tips in the chat as well, and by how much. Let us know. Toby reckons Carlton by 15. He's a diehard Carlton supporter as well, so we know where his allegiance lies.
Chris C, you are a donkey. I'll tell you that.
What it is?
It's a draw.
You are a donkey, my friend.
All right. Next game is the Power and the Lions. Now, this is at Adelaide Oval. The Lions in red hot form, and Adelaide coming off their loss. I reckon I've got to go the Lions. Lions by 3 or 4 goals, I reckon, for me. I do like Port Adelaide, but just their form, I don't know. Don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting back at home again, so we'll see. Johnny Carlton, what do you make of this one?
Well, you know, I have a spot for Brisbane, so I'm going the Lions. Going the Lions by about 30 points. Brisbane for me.
Yep, and J-Crom?
Yeah, look, I'm not a big Port fan, but I think Brisbane win anyway. So, yeah, Brisbane for me.
Yep. Chunky Footy reckons Lions by 68. Sorry about that, Chris C. Port by a point from Chris C, and Toby reckons the Lions by 24. So yeah, everybody's jumping on the Lions. So yeah, let's see how they go. Look, they do struggle. Like they've had a couple of wins now away from home. So yeah, it'll be a good test for them. That's for sure. Our next game. Here's another. It's the battle. Well, not necessarily the battle of the bridge, but the battle of the two Sydney teams. GWS is at home to the Sydney Swans. And I think this will be another flogging to Sydney. I don't know whether. Don't think the Giants are up to Sydney's class by any stretch of the imagination. So I'll be tipping Sydney here. Jake Rob?
Yeah, Sydney. Too good. They'll just keep the wins going, and let's just hope for their sake they haven't peaked too early, but I think they win this one.
Yep. Johnny Carlton?
Yeah, no, look, Sydney too good. Yeah. Look, Giants might give them a fight, but Sydney too good.
Yep. We've got Sydney by 69 and Sydney by 45 in the chat. So yeah, quite a big win to Sydney there. All right, this is going to be an interesting one actually. The next game, Melbourne versus North Melbourne at the MCG. I'm assuming it's a Melbourne home game.
Oh yeah, but they play. I don't know. You would have to check that. Could be Alice Springs.
Or are they playing at Marvel?
No, it's MCG.
MCG, yeah. So it's Melbourne at, but a massive out with Petrarca is going to be a big out for Melbourne. I hope that North have learned some lessons. And I think I'll tip North against Melbourne. No, I won't give you a score though. Johnny Carlton.
Wait, I need to see what other games there is because this might be my bold call. I need to see what the other game is.
All right, I'll go to Jake Rob. What do you reckon? Melbourne, North Melbourne.
Yeah, King, I reckon North got it, man. I reckon they showed good enough against Collingwood that all they have to do is keep that consistency going. They can do in the first, half and a bit, and they can beat it. Melbourne are down in the dumps at the moment, not playing well at all. So I'm going North here, man. I think Melbourne are in trouble.
And these young kids just needed that little bit of confidence, and yeah, it made a massive difference to the team. Johnny Carlton, I know you rate a lot of the North Melbourne senior players really highly. So yeah, what do you make of this one?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, hang on a sec. Let me just go to the graphic. Where are we? Ladies and gentlemen, it is Johnny Carlton's bold call of the week. Here we go.
Johnny Carlton's round 15 bold call of the week. North Melbourne will beat Melbourne by 25 points.
25 points. Far out. There we go. That could be a spot on bowl call. You never know. So yeah, no. You reckon Petrarca's going to make a big difference being out?
Well, I really wanted to give the bowl call next game, but that's too much.
Well, we could do 2 bowl calls, mate. There's no dramas with that.
I can't see the next team. As much as I want them to win, I just can't see them winning. But yeah, I think the bowl call might be spot on this week, hopefully. So
yep. All right. Well, let's go to the next game, and it's going to be an interesting one. It is the Bombers, Johnny Carlton's almost second favourite team. No, I'm only joking. Against West Coast. Look, I'm going to tip. It's Essendon back at home again. The Eagles are travelling. Harley Reid returns. I do believe he would be back. He's done his suspension. Is that right?
No.
No.
One more.
One more. Okay, so he's out. All right. I'll go Essendon by 4 goals. Jake Rom?
Yeah, I think the Bombers, no Harley Reid yet, and they bounce back. Bombers get up here.
Here we go. Johnny Carlton? Mate, have two
Bold call.
two bold calls this week. Come on.
Essendon by 40 plus.
40 plus.
Oh, shit.
Wow, there we go. All right, what do we got going on in the chat? So Jamar reckons Melbourne by 30. Toby reckons North Melbourne by 15. Chris C is saying 25 points for the bowl call, not bad. And Chunky saying North by 89. That's a massive. Jesus Christ, Chunky Footy, what are you doing? Jamar reckons the Eagles by 60 without Harley Reid, and then we've got Chris C, the Bombers by 19. Stay Hunky Ivan is saying Bombers by 52. Toby reckons Essendon by 45, and Chunky Footy is just taking the piss with 164. So there we go. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. Bombers all around, it looks like. And let's have a look at the next game. And it's the last game of the round. And it is the Dockers at home to the Gold Coast Suns. The Suns cannot win away from home. So I will say that the Dockers will, the Purple Army will be in force at Optus Stadium. And they'll have a big win, 6 goals, I reckon. What do you reckon, Johnny Carlton?
Yeah, I'm going Fremantle too, unfortunately. So I just can't see Gold Coast winning away from home. So
Yep.
3-0 for me.
What do you reckon, J. Crom?
Yeah, Fremantle bounce back. They're good at home, and yeah, Gold Coast don't travel well at all. So
No.
Yeah, Fremantle win here.
There we go. What's happening here? So J-Mar's saying Freo by 50 plus. Ivan's saying Suns by 14. So he reckons they might get the win. And Toby reckons Dockers by 36. So there we go. So yeah, it's been a very good show tonight, and fast paced. Far out, the King puts a fast paced HFD Footy podcast on. Don't worry about that.
Far out.
So yeah, over the weekend we might just have a look at. Thank you to everybody who is watching along and has given us likes tonight. 13 likes tonight. And yeah, let's just have a quick look at what we'll be doing as far as watch-alongs on the weekend. So we will be doing... All right, so if I don't go to the footy on Friday night, I'll be doing a watch-along to Carlton and Geelong, and possibly Chris C might be able to join me for that one. If you want to put your hand up for a watch-along, J-Crom, just let me know at any time. And on Saturday, we are going to do another triple header. So the King will be going to... I need to take my vitamins and do my Hulk Hogan bloody exercises to do this. So Saturday we are doing Port Brisbane, followed by GWS Sydney, followed by Melbourne, North Melbourne. Now, if North Melbourne can knock over Melbourne, I reckon we'll have a record watch-along crowd for that last game, and it'll be a beauty. So, yeah, I'm not going to do anything on Sunday. So we're going to give Sunday a rest. But yeah, we will. Oh, hang on.
Sunday night.
Sunday night, Fremantle. Oh, Essendon West Coast.
No. Remember you said last week Sunday night there might be.
Oh, yes. Yes. So, yeah, we're still working on that. So I won't mention anything yet. We're working, just to everybody in the chat and everybody watch along, we are working on a fan cam, and we're working on me and Johnny Carlton having a after the game catch up around 7:30, 8 o'clock Melbourne time. So we're just working on how we're going to make that all work, whether we just do it as a normal podcast, or whether we can get the fan cam coming up as well. We're working on that as quickly as we can to get that up and running, to put that on after game. But this Sunday we may just jump on and run TikTok in the background and do a live and a sum up of the after game, and you can tell us what you think about your teams, how they went, and all that sort of stuff. So we'll keep you updated on that. I'll give you plenty of updates when we're on live from Friday and Saturday. So I'll give you the good oil on that. But yeah, definitely some big things coming for HFD. We've got a few different things in the making that we want to do. We want to get the fans involved. We want to get participation from all the teams, all the fans. We're not just a one team YouTube channel. We support the AFL and we support footy generally. So we want all supporters to come in, and we want to just enjoy the footy as a big community. So yeah, we'll keep you up to date with all of that as well. Big watch.
There's a podcast tomorrow night.
There is, yep. So Chris C and KP will be doing their podcast tomorrow night. So make sure you jump on and join them for that. They do their general topic. Have you got a topic yet, Chris C, or that's to come?
Stay hunky. What? Stay hunky. Why do you want to know my location?
Yeah, stay hunky. That's Ivan. What's he saying?
Scroll up.
I want to know your location right now. What's going on there?
Yeah, he wants to know my location.
We could say, let's say Victoria, hey?
Yeah. He's an Essendon fan. He wants to meet up.
He's a Collingwood supporter.
Well, even worse.
Yeah, so there we go. So there's still, the topic is still being thought up, but make sure you join the boys tomorrow night for the podcast. I also want to thank everybody who came in on the last weekend as well. We are getting people from all over the world coming into the stream and into the watch-alongs and coming onto the podcast as well. We've got a fellow who came in from Scotland who was with us for both games and stuck around for the whole thing. A guy from England, Canada, America, New Zealand. The podcast is getting traction and getting out there to everybody. And Zero Zen is our new friend as well. So there we go. Johnny lives in Uso potentially.
What?
Uso potentially? What's that?
WWE reference.
Oh, there we go.
I'm a
Intel. Far out. There we go.
Right, mate.
It's just fantastic that we're getting a lot of support from overseas. A lot of people tune in because they can't see the games and they love AFL. So they're coming into to HFD Footy and watching along. So we thank you for that. And come and join the podcast tomorrow night. Come and join us on Friday night for the watch along, and we might even get a surprise from a certain Blues supporter after the game who might actually dial in. So you never know what might happen. So
never know.
Full of surprises. But thanks guys for joining us tonight. Thanks for coming on, J Crom, and thanks Johnny Carlton for joining me. Hope I've done an okay job running the show tonight.
You've done a great job, King. Great job.
Great job, mate. No. Now I know why the podcasts are longer, because Chris C can't stop talking.
There we go. Yeah. When you gotta talk for 8 hours on a watch along, so got to keep this chat going, and you got to keep everything happening. So yeah. No, lucky I worked in retail when I was a young fella, and I could do a red light special. So I've still got my old skills from back in the old days. So there we go.
Beautiful.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming in tonight. Thanks to Jay Crom and Johnny Carlton for joining me and making this show so successful. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to everybody for watching along, and we will see you next time. And don't forget, guys, stay hunky.
Stay hunky.